Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to my kitchen, or welcome if you are new. I am Denise, and tonight I am going to make barbecued meatballs. So I need to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. Because we are going to be browning them. So I need 1 pound of hamburger. And to the hamburger, I am going to add 1 egg. And breadcrumbs. I'm going to start with a little over 1/4 cup. And then I need a little bit of milk. About a tablespoon. We're going to get this mixed up. And I'm going to add some more breadcrumbs because it's a little wet yet. That was about a tablespoon and a spoon and a half more. Now I'm just going to form them into meatballs, and I make them about golf ball size. Okay, I'm going to wash out this pan's bowl so I can make the barbecue sauce. Okay, for the barbecue sauce, I need 2 cups of ketchup. And then 1½ tablespoons of brown sugar. A 1/2 tablespoon of garlic powder. And a 1/2 tablespoon of chili powder. One tablespoon of the W sauce. One tablespoon of liquid smoke. And a 1/2 tablespoon of mustard. All right, that's all there is to that. So as soon as this oven is preheated, then we're gonna go in there at 450 just for about, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes, just to brown them up. So then when that's done, I'll bring you back. Okay, friends, my meatballs have been browning for 10 minutes. So now I'm going to take them out. And I'm going to put a little bit of this barbecue sauce in the bottom of my pan. Now we'll put the meatballs in here. All right, there's them. Now we're going to pour this barbecue sauce on here. I'm going to cover this up, and they're going to go back in the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour. Okay, when these are done now, or before they get done, I'm going to be boiling us up some potatoes to mash, and I'll probably steam up some broccoli, so I will bring you back later. Okay, friends, our meatballs are done, and I mashed us up a pan of potatoes, and I steamed some broccoli. This is a wonderful fall supper. All right, let's see what this broccoli's gonna be like. Ooh, that'll be good. Look how green that is. Okay. A couple meatballs on here. Some mashed potatoes. And we like putting barbecue sauce on our potatoes. Because that's good. And let's see. And all I did was put some salt on this broccoli. Might have to add a little bit of butter to it. We'll see how it tastes. There you have it. Homemade barbecue meatballs, mashed potatoes, and steamed broccoli. We'll see you tomorrow. Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Denise. I am going to make a tomato soup today. I got this recipe from Mel Coop over on her channel. Her channel name is Mel Coop. And this soup just looked really easy and really yummy. And it is such wonderful soup weather. So I'm dumping in a 14.5-ounce can of tomatoes. And a 14.5-ounce can of chicken broth. And then the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of shredded carrots. So I have that in here, plus a little bit of bell pepper that I had in the freezer. I'm putting that in here too. So it's carrots and bell pepper. And a 1/2 cup of chopped celery. And a 1/2 cup of chopped onion. Or actually it's a 1/2 of an onion. So we'll just go with a 1/2 cup of that too. And then I need a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. And a 1/2 teaspoon of basil. So there's the basil. Here's the oregano. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of tomato paste in here, just because I want to. I've never made tomato soup from homemade before, so this is a first for me. Now that I stirred that, I'm going to put in a bay leaf. Just set that on top. And now this is going to sit on low for 4 hours. And there it is. And I'll bring you back in about 4 hours to show you the rest. Okay, friends, our tomato soup has been in here for about 4 hours now. So I need to find the bay leaf. Here it is. Take that out. Now I'm going to use my immersion blender. And I'm going to blend this up so it's nice and smooth. All right, we'll see what this is going to be like. See about getting some of this foam off of here. Gotta blend it some more. Okay, that should be pretty good. Not quite as smooth as canned soup, but that's okay. All right, in this bowl, I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to add some soup here to mix up in the cornstarch to make a slurry. I'm going to pour that in the soup. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter. And 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. And the recipe calls for 1 cup of half and half, but I had heavy whipping cream and not quite a cup, so I'm going to use that instead. I'm just going to put the lid back on this. Let it get good and hot. Get that butter to melt. And then I'm going to put us together a sandwich. But I'm going to wait a little bit on that yet. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay, friends. Our soup is in the crock pot, staying warm, while I make us a hoagie sandwich, because my husband doesn't think soup is a filling meal. So what I'm going to do is put some mayonnaise in here and add some Olive Garden signature Italian and some sriracha for our sauce mix. I like Italian dressing on a sub sandwich. I just want to get it mixed with some mayonnaise so it's not so wet and juicy. And then a little sriracha for some heat. I'll even have a little bit more. Okay. Now we'll get this smeared on our hoagie roll. And I'll get my husband's done too. All right, there's our mayonnaise. We're gonna put some ham. I believe this was honey ham. I'll lay a couple of them on here. And some salami. Put a couple of these on. And now for our cheese, I'm going to be using this French onion Havarti cheese that I found at Aldi. So I'll put some of these on. And then a slice of tomato. And some onion. Some pickle slices. And some lettuce. And this is going to be a very messy sandwich. But you know what they say about a messy sandwich? That's a good sandwich. Okay, I think that's everything for our sandwich. And then our soup. My husband's gonna have his in a cup, I think. So here is our homemade tomato soup and our hoagie sandwich. I'll be back after we're done eating to let you know how we liked this soup. Okay, friends, I just want to let you know that this tomato soup was really super good. We just have maybe one more meal for one of us. It was really good. I highly recommend this one. I'll have it typed out for you in the description box below. We'll see you tomorrow. Good afternoon, friends. Happy Sunday. Tonight I am going to make shepherd's pie. I need to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to brown up 1 pound of hamburger, but I'm only going to use half of it. And I will put the other half in the freezer for another use. And I have my mashed potatoes here, left over from the other night. Salt and pepper. And I need half of a small onion. So I'm just going to dice up the rest of this. Okay, I'm just going to get this all fried up. Okay, friends, I drained my hamburger and put half of it back in here. Now I am going to add, it's a little over a cup of frozen peas, corn, and carrots. I'm going to let these cook for a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add a tablespoon of flour. I'm going to get this flour taste cooked out of here. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of beef broth. And a tablespoon of tomato paste. And a half a tablespoon of the W sauce. A few squirts, shakes. And then the recipe calls for rosemary and thyme, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to put a little bit of basil and oregano. And my mashed potatoes are from the other night, so I put them in the microwave just to get the chill out of them. So there's already milk and butter in here. I'm going to add some salt and pepper and a little bit of sour cream. Just a couple tablespoons. Give this a quick mix. I have about a 7 by 11 pan here. I'm going to put this mixture in the bottom of it. Spread it out. And now we'll top it with the potatoes. spread these out the best we can. All right, and this is going to go in the oven for about an hour, or until everything's all hot and bubbly. There it is. Beautiful. And now I'm going to take care of my extra tomato paste. Got some wax paper here. And I'm just going to take a tablespoon, put it on here, and then wrap it up and put it in the freezer. And that's my little trick for tomato paste. We'll put it in a freezer bag and put it in the freezer until next time I need a tablespoon of paste. Okay, friends, our dinner is ready. All nice and hot and bubbly. I didn't make any side since we have vegetables in here and potatoes on it. Oh, there you have it, friends. Shepherd's pie. It's what's for dinner tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.